at yourself. Do you really think it's gonna help if you always fighting yourself, trying to forget how you felt? Just take a look at yourself. Can't even be your own friend, cause you're way too stuck in your head. How do you think it's gonna end? Nothing that they could do, nothing that they could say, nothing that they could do to take all the pain away. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't. Sometimes you win some and sometimes you won't. But we could be everything, everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be everything that we want. We could be everything, everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be anything that we want. You think if they said it, then they must mean it. So you should feel it, somehow you think that you need it. Others' opinions, to know how you're feeling, to know if you're losing or winning, left behind or within it. If you're sinking or swimming, existing or living. Nothing that they could do, nothing that they could say, nothing that they could do to take all the pain away. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it don't. Sometimes you win some and sometimes you won't. But we could be everything, everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be everything that we want. We could be everything, everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be anything that we want. But we could be everything, everything, anything that we see we could be. We could be everything that we want. We could be everything, everything.
Let it go, 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see 한여름에도 난 겨울. Yeah, girl, you cold blood. Yeah, 너와 있을 때 I swear 제가 먼저 zero 폭설혹한 기출돼. 꿈에도 I wasn't done. 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해. 내 신감이 들어 다 파닉돼도 머릿속을 흔들니 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop. 승부욕을 자극하는 style yeah. 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가. 안만 빠져버릴까. If you want me back I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Girl, you cold-blooded. Girl, you cold-blooded. I'm like frozen 뭐야 모든 stress은 gotta let it go 했어. 소개팅 데이팅 어플 다 깔아 또 보았어. 반대가 끌린대 opposites attract. Don't know about me and you, yeah we fell into the cracks. Yeah 갖고 노네 no cap. 왜 나는 보여 what's happening. 객관적일 수가 없이 이미 game white flag and waving fast. Yeah I'm leaving back but 말해도 너만 보면 나도 내 맘 I don't know 이거 love a relationship이 헷갈리기만 해 girl. I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Girl, you cold-blooded. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Girl, you cold-blooded. Girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Girl, you cold-blooded. Girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you cold-blooded. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Girl, you cold-blooded. Girl, you cold-blooded.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Sir Hill Speaks. We are in the building, and it is good to see everybody tonight. How are you doing? I hope that you've had a great week so far. I hope that all of you have had a great 4th of July. We're in for an intense show tonight. So listen, this show is going to be it's going to be a sort of on a serious end. So I hope that you come prepared, ready to listen. We've got some things to talk about, and I don't have very much time to do it. But let's get to some housekeeping before I get started. Let me show some love to those who have already shown up in the chat. Good to see you, Anya. Good to see you today. Glad that you were here. Hope that all is well with you and your family. Tarika, what's going on with you? It is good to see you. What's going on, Ron Alexander? Glad that you're here. The one and the only Creative Space Academy PLC, Lady Hale. Oh, she is in the building. Good to see you, my love. Glad that you were here. And the one and the only Bravo with Sheila network is in the building. It is good to see you. Hope that you were well. Hope that you had safe travels and all that as well with you today. All right, Joe. So we've got an interesting show, and the show is called The Line in the Sand for Relationships in Marriage in 2023. We are drawing a line in the sand. I'm doing this particular show because I think that we've got to talk about some things. And I need to give both men and women some insight on how we need to move going forward. But before we do, I've got something that I want to share. So I have been invited to be a speaker at the Black Manosphere Conclave. This is going to take place in September. So you guys take a look at that. I'm going to be on there with a couple of other great, exceptional speakers, those who I highly respect. I saw the Kosher Clinician. Shout out to him. He should be there. I also saw Real Nathan Daly. He should be there. I saw the lead attorney and several others who are going to be there. And I'm very excited to spend time with Shannon Rawls and Obsidian and all the brothers over there that are helping to make the Black Manosphere a very classy event where men can come and we can gain knowledge and build off of each other's perspectives and network and so on and so forth. So I'm very glad that we're going to do this. I'm very excited about it. It's a big opportunity, and we're elevating the platform. And I think we have an opportunity to continue to drive impact. So you guys take a look at that. Take a look at that. Support in any way that you can. I'll let you guys know more information as we get closer to that date in September. But we are getting ready for that. So we're excited about it. All right. So now that that's done, I've got a show on Friday that I'm going to do that's probably going to be a part 2 to this. So I only have less than an hour to get through this show. And I want to make sure that I give you guys a quality experience, but I'll probably end up doing a part 2 this Friday. And then certainly we'll be back again for our Sunday show. So here's what I need you guys to do. I think with the time that I spent away from YouTube, just recouping and rebuilding and re-strategizing, we want to make sure that we are hitting the algorithm. So if you guys would be so kind to do me a favor, make sure that you're actually subscribed. And then if you want to be fancy, take some time and make sure that you guys hit that notification bell to get all of my content. I've got stuff that I'm dropping pretty much every day. So there's going to be a mixture of live like this. You're going to see some clips from our Sunday shows and some clips from monologues like this. And then you guys are going to see some reels. The way that we grow and we get the message out is that we support the message. And I know that my base right now is mostly men, but I do have some faithful ladies who always show up. Again, shout out to Lady Hale. Shout out to Anya. Shout out to Bravo with Sheila. Some of those who aren't here yet, but like Red Lipstick Vibes, Mrs. She said, take heed to the message and more. So what we want to do is we want to get the message out. And we're doing this because I'm in some ways evolving my content. I'm evolving my content because there's a couple different things. Number one is if we keep on giving information that's just one-sided, I think that we miss an opportunity to bring people into a much needed conversation. So I can't spend 100% of my time telling men that they need to level up, because what happens after men begin to level up? The message has to change because we have to tackle something else. I can't just spend all of my time telling women you need to become better. We have to find a way to piece together a meaningful conversation that results in some actionables that we can see in our lives. And so that's what we're aiming to do. The last thing that I'll say is, ladies who are on here, it is very important to me if you guys support the message. If it's possible, assume that each live that we do, except for Super Sunday, if you can make some time planned to at least join the stream and give some words. The reason I say this is in talking to women, and I want to say between 20 and 50, there are so many women who have told me that the stuff that they hear from my channel and others like this is that nobody ever told them this. Some of them didn't have a mother to teach them and to train them and to guide them. Some women just are figuring stuff out. And the reason why you see so many women who are very vehement when they hear content like mine that requires them to have a standard, or we talk about things like body count, and then there's this anger, is because a lot of women are stumbling on the reality of how men see the world, and they've never been taught that. They've only seen it from a female context. So what helps to change this is that we have women who are upstanding, who can help at least provide perspective to women who wouldn't have heard this otherwise. Ladies, can I count on y'all for this? Let me pause for a second. To all my ladies, can I count on you? I'm not saying every show, but I do want to give women who really are trying to make that shift. I want to give them an opportunity to do that with the guidance and the support of other women who are rallying behind them and who will hold them accountable. Ladies, can I count on you? Ladies, can I count on you? Let me see you guys in the chat. And salute to you, Trey. Good to see you. Salute to Orlando. It is good to see you here tonight. All right, so we're going to do this. And then, fellas, what we're going to do as well is we're going to continue to build. I was on a show with Lapeef Network last night. If you guys missed King Talk, go back and check out the episode. It was absolutely fantastic. And we're talking about how we train men, and we get men to focus on being disciplined and making sure that they focus on their goals and that they don't get distracted with women and with, just being stupid, but that they take the wisdom that older men give and use that to help expedite their training and their path to success. We ended up talking about some things where a lot of men don't respect certain kinds of men who don't have the same type of experience. And here's my ask for all of the older men, and I want to say 35 and up. If we see a young man who is trying to do things the right way, we need to spend time encouraging that young man. Like this whole thing where if a young man dresses up in a shirt and a tie, we got to quit calling men like that lames because they don't fit the particular narrative that we're used to living in. Equally as true is just because we have young men who are wearing fitted t-shirts and jeans, we can't make them feel like there was something wrong with them as an individual because their style, the way that they appear, isn't like us. So I think that's an opportunity to offer perspective and to show young men that the way you dress is a way that you are telling the world how to perceive you. But it is certainly not an opportunity for us to put any man down because they are not like us or they are not where we are right now. So us older men, let's make sure that we are encouraging our younger men on how to be better, and then we're emulating that in the way that we live our lives as well. Fellas, can we agree to this? I need all the fellas, all my ladies to hear what I'm saying, because if we don't start converting these conversation into actionables, we're going to be talking about this for the next 3 years. And what happens is we keep talking about stuff and there's no change, and then it starts to fall on deaf ears, and we have to avoid that. Okay. All right, guys. So that's the house cleaning for today. So check out the Black Manosphere. Check that out. Check out the show on the Lapeef Network last night. Subscribe to them and make sure that we're supporting great content. Okay. Let's make sure that we do this. So, all right, guys, let's jump into the show tonight. Why am I doing the line in the sand? for relationships and marriages in 2023. Why am I doing the line in the sand? I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this. So if you guys have looked at content over the last few weeks, you have seen several things. You've seen one of the popular clips that kind of went viral from Dr. Umar when he was talking about how Black men are in a large part responsible for Pookies and Ray Rays, and are responsible for the bad pool of men that a lot of women today have to pick from. From that conversation has spurred all kind of other conversations, some which agree to the points that Dr. Umar presented, and others that don't agree, and don't agree for very observable issues. Part of that being that you can't hold men accountable for women who refuse to listen to men. It's very difficult to say that it's the man's fault for creating Pookies and Ray Rays, and to use that statement as an umbrella to suggest that Pookies and Ray Rays, and again, I'm going to get away from this term. I'm going to get away. I think some of these people who we call Pookies and Ray Rays are simply misdirected men. And if we have a Pookie and Ray Ray for men, then there's got to be an equivalent for women. And if women are not okay with men having a Pookie and Ray Ray type of name attached to them, then we're going to have some grace for men. Most of these men are trying to be something that they've never seen. And it's not that they don't want to be a dad. It's not that they don't want to be good men. Sometimes if you've grown up in an environment and you did not see a healthy example of what a man is, you take on the lessons. You take on the lessons of what you see, and you begin to emulate this, whether you do this on a subconscious level or not. Let me give you an example. So me and my wife were talking yesterday or early this morning, and I was saying that there's a difference between people's experiences. So let's say that you have had a mother and a father, and both of them are giving you a very healthy experience. You grow up to see how a man treats a woman and how a woman treats a man. You've seen this. And you saw how they take care of the children. You saw dad go to work. You saw him provide and take care of the bills. You saw a very robust, a strong, masculine man. On the other side, you saw a very feminine woman. You saw how your mother nurtured the household, how she brought peace. And with her presence, it made the house feel like a home, and it was welcoming and inviting, because the strength that both of them wield when they are together created a foundation for how you operate today. Now, let's say you got that experience. Now, let's go to the far side. There are some men and some women who did not get that at all. Some men and some women have had to witness their mother bringing men in and out the house at very young ages. Some of them have had to witness going to see their fathers in prisons. They had to go witness seeing them there. They saw violent crimes. And so while there should be a standard for both individuals, the playing field that both of these people are on produce very different outcomes. Now, we both want both women who've come from very different environments to be good women, but one had a head start and one hasn't even gotten started yet. And so when I approach these conversations, I do so with that perspective that who I'm talking to, if they're willing and open to admit where they are and to have the courage to say, I know I need to make some changes and I don't have the steps, then I think that we have to facilitate a conversation with that in mind and not beat them down for not being where they had no context or guidance for being. Okay, with that being said, though, I do have to hold both men and women accountable. So at 17, there's nobody who's sympathizing for what a boy didn't get. And at 25, no one's sympathizing for what a woman didn't get. So if you're over 17 as a man, and if you're over 25 as a woman, you do not have the luxury of talking about what your mother didn't teach you. You don't have the luxury of talking about what you didn't see growing up. The question becomes, what do you want? Do you want what you've had? Do you want what you've experienced? Because if you're complaining about what you're getting, then it's a telltale sign that you need to do something different to get better outcomes. 17 is the cutoff point where boys no longer get sympathy, and 25 years old is where the sympathy for women are cut off as well. So if you are over 25 and you never got the training on how to be a good woman or how to be in a position to be a good wife and a mother, well, no one's responsible for sympathizing with you after 25. Now, your experience is real and we can empathize, but at some point, you shouldn't want anybody feeling sorry for what you did not get. As a matter of fact, you should make it up in your head that you are going to commit to doing what it takes to getting what you want to have. Let me pause here for a second. Are you guys with me? This making sense? And salute to Red Lipstick Vibes. It's good to see you. Good to see you, T-Shaw. Glad to see you and here. Yes, so Trey says, why the age disparity? So it's just the way that life works. It shouldn't be this way, but the way that we treat men and women is just very fundamentally different. We for the most part in society, we coddle women and we give women a little bit more grace to grow up. But when it comes to men, we expect men to be a bit more mature. And this is not a bad thing. It's important for men to have a foundation early, or to at least understand and be able to gauge the seriousness of manhood. And it's important that if you give a man sympathy 18, 19, 20 years old, I think this is what helps to produce men who are okay with living off women. I think that if you give men sympathy and you make it so convenient for them to underperform, that these are the kind of men who refuse to be productive and to break out of the environment that they're in, because they know that people will not hold them responsible. They'll just sympathize if he gives a sad story as to where he is in life. And the way that it works, it doesn't matter how bad your story is. If you don't make a change, nothing changes. Salute to Bravo with Sheila. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So it's important that if we're going to develop a group of strong men, then we at least have to plant it in them that after 17 years old, the world is not responsible for feeling sorry for you and extending their hand to help you to do something. You have to help yourself. And as you help yourself, the world begins to open up for you. Does that make sense? Is it fair? It absolutely isn't fair, but so is body count. That's not fair either. Men can get away with a lot more than women can. It is just the way that it is. All right. So let's get to the line in the sand. I'm doing this show because as I've been watching content over these last few months, and not only content, but in real life, ladies, I got to talk to you for a second. I have got to talk to you ladies for a second. If you guys see me sweating here, it's because I got all these lights and it's very warm. I've got to talk to the ladies because there is something that we have to get into. Now, have you guys heard about the Essence Festival? So at the Essence Festival, I'm going to show this really quickly. And if my stream goes away, I'll set up another one. I want to make sure that they don't take this down for me showing this. But if you guys haven't seen it, at the Essence Festival, something that we see on a regular basis, we see something that I hate to see. We see that, a couple of stars in time, they're on stage and they're performing. There's nothing wrong with entertainers entertaining. There's nothing wrong with that per se. Like, I believe in entertainment. I like our singers. I like some of the culture. But to be truthful, and if you guys are honest in the chat, entertainment is going too far. You understand? So we get a chance. People who don't want to be accountable say it's just entertainment, and it's what you see here. So Meg Thee Stallion is performing, and I don't have to go too deep into the music and to what she does. As a person, I don't like the idea of female empowerment that hinges off of being ratchet. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that pseudo empowerment. I don't believe that it is empowerment for a woman to act a complete fool, to be disrespectful, to not have any respect for herself or for an audience. And then when there is some level of criticism, we say it's just entertainment. I do not like it. Call me old school, call me whatever you want to call me. But I believe that if a woman wants respect, she has to present herself in a respectful way. So we see this. So they're online at the Essence Festival, something that used to be, to me, somewhat respectful. And as they're at this festival, in regular fashion, They start, I'm not gonna play the video. I'm not gonna play the video, but they're on stage, and Meg the Stallion starts dancing, and she invites other people up there to start twerking with her on the stage. Now, ladies, y'all got to help me understand this. What is it about twerking that got some of y'all, that got some of you fully grown women acting like children? Let me start there. What is it about when you hear a particular song and you with your girls, and your girls like, yes, girl, get it, girl? What is it about some of you women? And this is not just, guys, I want to paint this picture. This is not really just a Black woman thing. So if you're on here and you think that this is strictly about Black women and your context is just about Black women, I'm telling you to widen the scope. This is really about character that's developed in this particular culture here in America. It is, you hear a particular song and you got people encourage you to be sexy, girl, to be, yes, girl, girl, be free, girl, do your thing, girl, be sexy, be hot, girl. I'm talking about women who are educated, got degrees, women who say they love Jesus, who say they're Christian, who believe in the Lord. You got people who are very educated, corporate positions. It really doesn't matter in this day and age. You're going to see this type of behavior, whether it's at restaurants, whether this is, you see this here performing on the stage. It doesn't matter what venue it is. It's almost as if when you hear a certain sound or there's a certain level of encouragement, you just got to twerk. I need somebody to help me understand. What is it? What is it about this culture that women can't be adult-like anymore? Now, understand, listen, if you are of somebody and you have children, you understand that if you've got kids, they always moving and dancing. They can't be still. It's, you got to be real careful how much sugar you give them, because if you give too much sugar, they're going to be moving. It's almost, and I'm not trying to infantilize our women. I'm just saying that there's a correlation, that it seems like in this culture, you can be ratchet under the guise of empowerment and freedom. So there is nothing that I see that women do in public that is sacred in the bedroom. Now, listen, let me make this point clear. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make this clear. I believe that every woman should twerk. I just messed you guys up now.
Sir, hell, speak to me.
I just messed you guys up. I believe that every woman should twerk, but here's the confines. You should be doing that for your man, right? There should be some things that you do in the context of your own marriage with your own man. You should, whatever he like, let him make it rain. Let that, you guys have a good time between you two. But why does the world have to be privileged with seeing you shaking your behind? Why does the world need to see that? I know you, because some of you guys are saying that that's just the way that it is. And to my question for everybody who's like, well, this is just normal now. This is just what we do. Why are you speaking on it? Why don't you just let people be? You can't say that you are an advocate for family and for marriages and for community, but you can't speak out on little subtle things that really expose bad character. You can't call out issues, but you are an advocate for family. No, you're a hypocrite. You like talking and sounding intelligent. You like the idea that when you speak about something, people look at you as if you're speaking from a genuine place, when your behaviors and your advocacy for ratchet behavior goes against the very fundamental foundation of family that you say that you're a proponent for. I'm saying to you that at some point, let me start with my ladies. At some point, you have to draw a line in the sand. See, too many of you ladies, you don't have any problem coming online talking about what's wrong. You don't have any problem with agreeing with people who are telling or speaking out on things that are wrong, but taking a stance in your life, but taking a stance in how you conduct yourself and what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate, what you will speak out against and what you won't. So many women play the fence. And it is very easy to have this online morality that doesn't translate into real life. This is why I appreciate people like Take Heed to the Message. If anything she's going to do, she's going to tell you the truth, and she's not going to say it simply for the sake of being a content creator, but she is going to tell you about her life, She's going to tell you about her experiences, and she's going to give you some perspective that what you're doing now, there's consequences for this later. Ladies, do you understand this? Ladies, do you understand that how you conduct yourself now online, it will never go away? And you keep on saying it's my profile page, it's my life, it's what I do, it was just this. You tell me, what kind of man do you believe wants to see his woman that he respects and takes seriously? What man wants to see his wife, his woman, the woman that is going to be on his arms representing him when he goes into board meetings or when he's running, for office, or he becomes a pastor of a church, or he just simply wants to be a good husband and respected in his community? What man wants to see his wife? The whole world can go online and see his wife acting a complete fool just because she's young. I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes, and I want you guys to answer that. You tell me, what kind of man do you believe wants that? If you believe that there is some man who will be accepting of it to the degree where he can look past that, I'm telling you the honest truth. You might marry somebody who will accept it. You might find a man who said, baby, it don't matter. But I'm telling you, eventually you won't respect that man, because you will know deep down inside that a man that doesn't hold you to a standard is a man that doesn't have a standard for himself. Men who have something that they are living for and striving for have very high standards for themselves, and they have it for the woman that they love as well. Does that make sense? You guys talk to me for a second. Sir Hell speaks in the bill. Is it making sense? So you guys saw this. I presented this to you, and here's the interesting thing is that they're twerking, and somebody who, if you're over what, 25, 30, you guys have heard about India Ari. You guys remember when she came out with music, it was more so about the music, about the artistry. It was about the expression of music and love. And particularly for her, she believed in Black love. And you see her, who is to me a respected woman who has not had, many scandals, if any scandals in the music entertainment. She comes out and she has a perspective on this. She just comes out and she has a simple perspective. And in fashion, she gets ripped. Right? She says the issue is what is context. Humanity does everything, but does everything belong on in a stage? No. Is everything for kids? No. Is everything for everybody? No. You would have thought by reading this that she has said something that is scathing, that simply denigrates women, that puts down people, that talks about them, that scandalizes them. You would think that she says something that's just completely terrible. She gives a perspective from an adult lens to other women, and then she gets ripped for it. So here's the issue that I have. There are women who would say that they're tired of men talking about issues like this. Well, let me ask you ladies something. Let me ask you ladies something. For all the ladies who are tired of us men, and women who are bringing up issues that we see that are impacting our families and our culture, what are you doing about it? Let me pause there for a second. To all the ladies who are saying, I don't want y'all talking about this. I'm sick of y'all talking about women. I'm sick of you guys talking about yada yada. I'm sick of this. What are you doing about it? Except for sitting there and making comments. What are you doing about it? What are you saying about it? What are you advocating for? What are you standing up against? Because if you're not doing the work to help make things better, and you're hoping that through silence that people will somehow understand what they should and shouldn't be doing, well, you're sadly mistaken. You don't learn by people not calling things out and saying nothing. You don't learn by hoping and wishing. As a matter of fact, let me be honest with you. Let's just go there for a second. A lot of these young women, the reason why a lot of older women are not critical about them is because they know that the way a lot of these young women have turned out is due to the negligence of providing guidance to them. Because while you should have been raising your daughters, while you should have been, giving encouragement and guidance to the women at your church, you were so busy trying to live your own life that you forgot that when you get kids or you're responsible for somebody else's life, it's no longer about you. So if you criticize young women, you really have to first start criticizing yourself. And so many of us are not at a place in our life. So many of our women are not at a place where you are even aware enough that you are, or you were negligent, and that some of these young women are the result of a failed system that prepared them for a world. Does that make sense? So it makes sense. So now when a woman who is respectable, a woman who is mature comes out and gives her perspective on certain things shouldn't be done in the presence of kids or on stage, she gets ripped apart. And this speaks to what I'm talking about today. We need other women to draw a line in the sand. Listen, like shout out to Red Lipstick Vibes and Mrs. She Said. They do segments, different parts of the week. You guys, if you haven't subscribed, do that. But if you don't call out bad behavior, if other women are afraid to say sus, you showing everything online is going to keep you single. Yes, your inbox will stay filled, but your ring finger will be empty as well. Right? You will have no shortage of men calling you, but you will have a shortage of men you can really call on. You'll have no shortage of men taking you out on dates. But there's no real man who wants to make you his wife for a lifetime. This is, if you don't have real women who are telling you the real truth, the path that you are going down now, if you say you want to be married and be a great wife and mother, the path you are going down now is not the right one. If you don't have women calling this out, if women are afraid to draw this line, another generation of our women are going to fail, right? So with that being said, I need women to partner with this and to draw a line in the sand. If you see women who are blatantly disrespectful, who are not good mothers or not being what they should be, not only do we have to model what that is, we have to call that out as well. All right, guys, let me stop here for a second. I feel like I'm cooking too fast. Are you guys with me tonight? All right, but this show's getting ready to take a turn, everybody. This show's getting ready to take a turn. So Travel One says you are skipping many details of history. A little girl can't fight off a big greasy smelly uncle. That's true. That's very true. I agree with that. And I think that, I'll say my comment on that for a little bit later. But now, ladies, I've given you some context for you drawing a line in the sand. Now I'm going to tell you some things that men need to do. And I want you guys to partner with this message as well. Fellas, are you ready for this?
Sir Hill,
Fellas, this is some simple things we got to get into. I got to give it to you just like it is. We are drawing a line in the sand for what we will and will not accept in marriages and relationships in 2023. And I want you to stand on this, and we're not taking it back. All right. So here's the first thing. You are drawing a line in the sand for women who refuse alternative perspectives. What do I mean by this? How many times have you talked to a woman who was completely off, got multiple kids, multiple baby fathers, but she wants a stable relationship? She's not really working, doesn't really have a career. Either she's educated, but the degree she has doesn't really translate into something meaningful in life. And she's going in circles, got debt piling up to her ears, right? She's not in the right mind frame that she wants to be in. Her health is not where she wants to be. She's got all these problems that she's ready to articulate. But as soon as you give her perspective on it, she rejects the perspective and goes back to the sad story she's telling herself. Now, listen, I am not a licensed clinician. If you guys want some perspective in how to detangle that type of mindset, then I encourage you guys. There are great counselors that I know. The Kosher Clinician, he's somebody that I highly recommend if you guys want to detangle that. There's also Dr. Nakumba. He's a relationship coach. Reach out to him. Somebody else, in terms of if you wanted to know knowledge, the Bravo with Sheila. There are several people that I can recommend to you guys. But fellas, I want you to avoid women who refuse an alternative perspective. She doesn't mind the sad story. She'll tell you all of her problems. And then when you give her particular steps on how to go about changing that, she rejects everything and goes right back to the lifestyle that you were trying to get her out of. You don't have time to be fixing anybody. There are too many men who have wasted years trying to change a woman who doesn't want to change for you. You have to draw the line in the sand that if after several efforts and you done prayed and and I'm being for real, a lot of you men are men of faith and you've prayed and you've worked and she just refuses to make changes, to see things differently. You're going to spend years of your life focusing on her issues and you won't have the time to focus on your purpose, because a wife should be a place of peace for your life so that you can focus on things that matter. And if you're spending all of your time trying to change and to fix her, she becomes a distraction to the larger purpose of your life. And in 2023, men, you simply don't have time to fix women who don't want to fix themselves. Y'all feel me? You don't have the time. I'm a timer short. Let me move on real quick. Here's the other thing. Women who are, now you guys are not going to like this one. Women who were verbally disrespectful, do not make any concessions when it comes to this. If you are with a woman and she's okay with cussing at you, if she's okay with disrespecting you, now listen, I know that women have emotions. I know that women are wired differently, and based on the time of the month or the season of her life, there are different hormonal changes that take place. But let me tell you something. A woman, if she can control herself at work, she can control herself at home. If she can control herself at church, she can control herself at home. If she can control herself with her friends, she can control herself at home. We're not making any concessions. You don't have the right to tell me because you have a hormone imbalance or because you have a bad day that this somehow is licensed for you to be verbally disrespectful to me. I will not accept it. If you wouldn't talk to your boss at work like this, you wouldn't talk to your pastor like this, you wouldn't talk to your friends like this, you sure as heck will not talk to me like this. I'm not making any concessions. I care about you. I even love you. There's almost no limit to what I'll do for you. But when it comes to my self-respect, I won't allow you or even myself disrespect myself. So if you are verbally disrespectful, Miss Sis, you got to roll. Fellas, I want to let this marinate. I wish I had the plaything from the Kosher Clinician File for your mind. I want you guys to hear it because too many of you dudes, and let me pause for a second. I used to be one of those guys. If you guys go back and look at some of my lives, I was very patient with people who kept disrespecting me. And it was confusing because if you go back, I don't, you ain't never see me cuss nobody out. You ain't never see me roast nobody. And I got the roasting gene. But in some of my lives, the disrespect kept coming in and I kept on saying, you know what, let me just explain it a little bit better and they'll get it. Let me say it a little bit different. Let me show that I'm an ally and that I'm not an enemy. Let me show that I come with good intentions. And the more that I yielded my stance, the more I was disrespected. I'm telling you, and this is not just for single men, this is for you husbands as well. If you don't take a solid stance and draw a line in the sand, you're going to be disrespected. And the reason why you'll keep being disrespected is because they know you will be back. You'll be back for some more. They'll put some sex on you. They'll cook you dinner. They'll do nice things, but they know that you won't hold them accountable by removing your presence from a toxic environment. I'm telling you, men, and ladies hear this as well. You need to be encouraging your sons and your brothers that this behavior, real women, we don't do this. We don't cuss out our men. We don't disrespect our men. We don't belittle our men. As a matter of fact, feminine women, if we're going to say something offensive, they know how to just be quiet. They'll go to a different room. They'll go pray about it. They'll take a breath. They'll do something because they would rather bite their tongue than risk disrespecting the man that they say that they love. Ladies, I need you guys to partner with this as well. We are not tolerating women who are verbally disrespectful. I don't give a care who you. All right, let's take this a step further, guys. I don't care if it's my grandmother. I don't care if it's my godmother. I don't care if it's my mother. I don't care if it's my sisters. I don't care if it's my aunties. I don't care if it's my wife. I don't care who you are. If you are verbally disrespectful and you refuse to check yourself, don't be upset when you miss out on the benefit of my presence. I am not going to be beholden to somebody who routinely disrespects me and act like I'm obligated to be there for them when they're not obligated to respect me. It ain't gonna happen. You will be dismissed with the quickness until you learn some manners. You fix my tie. Will be dismissed with the quickness. So, fellas, if she's verbally disrespectful, you don't let that slide. You don't say, well, she's having a bad day. You don't let it slide, because if you were disrespectful, you get cussed out. And cussed out without a second thought. So if we're going to be adults, we're going to give mutual respect. You're going to respect your husband. Your husband's going to respect the wife, and we're going to have a dandy good time. That makes sense? I say this, listen, I know you guys, this comes off fiery, but I'm telling you this because I see so many men, white men, black men, Mexican, just American men, just accepting stuff. And I say this, I would rather you walk away and feel the temporary upset, feel the temporary disappointment, because you realize as you become stronger, you're going to attract the right women. And a lot of the women who disrespect you, do you guys want me to show you how they're going to turn out? Can I show you guys how so many of these women are going to turn out? Exhibit A. All my life I had to fight. Nobody ever really loved me. All of that, no ma'am, you brought this on yourself. Is that making sense? No ma'am, them tears, you brought it on yourself. You had a man try to love you, you didn't listen, you didn't respect him, you didn't give him attention, you didn't give him respect, and now you in the room crying by yourself. Now, when we see you on Instagram, you living it up, but you going home alone by yourself. And let me tell you something, fellas, don't let any woman make you think otherwise. Women feel when they lose a good man. Don't let anybody fool you. I don't know. I don't care what they say. If a woman loses a good man and she's blessed to live long, she knows. She might not ever tell you that she regrets it. If she's ridiculous, she'll try to come back into your life as if nothing happened. But most women, they know when they lost a good guy. And it is your job to stand firm in what you believe, to stand firm in your self-respect, and you don't let anybody undermine your self-respect, because if they do it once, it creates a pattern, and you'll find them, they'll disrespect you in public. Let me say this and then I'm done. Let me say this and I'm done. Ladies, if you are disrespecting your man in front of the kids, if you're disrespecting your husband in front of your kids, if you have the audacity to speak down at and disrespectfully to your husband in front of your kids, you need to be arrested on sight. I know this is difficult, but think about what you're doing. So if you physically harm your children, if you physically bring harm to a person, you can go to jail because of the observable damage that's being created. But what do you think is occurring when your kids see you disrespecting not only a man, but a man that represents a father, that represents strength and foundation and structure and protection to them? What type of damage, emotional damage, psychological damage, what do you think is occurring when you disrespect your husband? You understand? If you were doing this to your hubby, you should be arrested. It sounds rough, and the same thing with you brothers. If you gonna disrespect your kid's mother, you're going to now listen. It's okay for you guys to have your own issues. It's okay for you guys to have your own problems, but you're going to allow your emotions and your feelings to bleed out to the place where kids who have nothing to do with y'all issues, you let it bleed out and disrespect them, sir, you need to be arrested. Because the damage you are doing to these kids, it will not show up until they get in relationships of their own. And here's the interesting thing. Y'all don't mind disrespecting somebody else's son, but y'all got an attitude when somebody disrespects your son. You have no issues disrespecting someone else's daughter, but when somebody messes with your daughter, now you want to take matters into your own hand. No, it first needs to start with you. If you are going to protect your daughter, protect the other person's daughter that you're with as well. All right, we're not taking verbal disrespect. Here's the next one. If she overshares on social media, that's a line. Don't even listen. Particularly if you're dating, if she's always online and she has to show everything. You know what she eats, you know when she goes to sleep, you know where she's driving, you know where she works, you know what she looks like, you know what she looks like with makeup, without makeup. You done seen all her body parts, you didn't know the intimate details about her life. She can't stay off. I'm telling you to avoid her because she is looking for a level of attention that will suck the life out of you because it costs too much to love her. So if she's oversharing on social media, and she has a problem with letting an account go, she's that attached, and she's not making no money online. She's not promoting anything. Like she's not promoting, awareness on like autism or becoming a teacher. Shout out to Red Lipstick Vibes. She's not promoting a business crafting. Shout out to Lady Hale. She's not talking about marriage. Shout out to Mrs. She Said. She's not promoting clothes and jewelry. Shout out to Take Heed to the Message. She's not promoting being a wife. Shout out to Security Boss. If she's not on there promoting something and she's just simply on there because she is vying for attention, I'm telling you, there's no amount of attention that you can give her to soothe that hole. She has to work that out by herself. Line in the sand. Here's a big one. I got two more, then I'm out of your way, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying this. If you're just tuning in, hit that like button and tell somebody that they need to hear this. If she doesn't get along with other women, I'm telling you guys something. It is something to be said. If you were with a woman and she can't get along with any other woman, it's always a problem. Them heifers is terrible. I'm sick of them heifers. All of them messy. All I can get along with. I just hang around with dudes. She's a thought. Women who crave masculine energy create an unreal problem with women to justify why they are always around men. Guys, don't fall for that trap. It's a reason she can't get along with other women because other women can sense. All right, I won't say this word because I have a tie on and it's Wednesday and I'm a man of faith and I want to be respectful. But other women can sense that craftiness. She doesn't get along with women because other women don't want to get along. Typically, if she can't get along with other women, there is something about her that she knows is false and phony, and other real women who are secure in themselves will call it out. So unsuspecting men who want something from her are less inclined to tell her the truth because they're looking for something from her and they don't want to risk missing out on the potential of sleeping with her, so they won't tell her the truth. But a woman who don't want nothing from you, she got her own life, her own success, her own happiness, who ain't looking for nothing from you, she's willing to call you out even if it makes you uncomfortable. So if you get a woman who is okay that she can't get along with her mother, can't get along with her sisters, can't get along with the women at the church, she's creating an unreal problem with women to justify why she's around so many other men. Avoid women like this. Line in the sand. All right, and the last thing I'm gonna leave you with, 5 minutes and I'm out of here. If she's relationally reckless, here's what I mean when I say relationally reckless. She doesn't have a pattern of long-term relationships. She got 6 months here, 4 months over here, 3 months here, 1 month. This lasted 4 weeks. She got married 3, 4, 5 times. She has a history of fragmented relationships. This means that she lacks discipline in several areas of her life, and that she hasn't slowed down enough to figure out why she keeps making the same relational mistakes. So eventually, if you invest your time in a woman like this, it's only a matter of time before you become one of the monsters in her story that she tells to another man to explain why she hasn't found the right man. She's not going to go back and talk about her recklessness, the fact that she's overlooked good qualified men, or the fact that she's moved too fast, or the fact that she had a sneaky link. And the reason why she can't be with anybody long term is because she has a propensity, or proclivity rather, to want to be with multiple men. She got a man to take care of her nails, a man who's gonna get her hair done, a man that she's gonna sleep with, a man who's hitting it just right, a man who's paying her bills. And so the fragments are really a manifestation of how she sees herself in relationships. Women, listen, feminine women don't want to be with that many men. Y'all hear me carefully. It's not that she can't be attracted to other men. It's not that she finds other men who look good. That's not what it is. But feminine women don't want to be bouncing around off multiple laps. She doesn't want to be in multiple men's home. And she certainly doesn't want multiple men in her home. Feminine women would rather wait and hold out for the right man that they can love and give themselves completely to, than for their reputation to be assaulted and damaged because they don't know how to be relationally satisfied. Women who are relationally reckless avoid women like this. And that's my monologue. Ladies, I'm gonna give us a couple minutes. If you guys want to call in, I would love to hear your perspective tonight. Did you guys agree with what I said or no? And then once we get done with here, I want everybody, particularly women who are wives and want to be, the Unsolicited Security Boss is doing a broadcast tonight that I think is going to be very interesting for women who want to understand what a wife is. So I want us to go over them and to support her. But are there any women who are willing to call in and tell me if I got it wrong? I've told everybody that we're drawing a line in the sand. Men, you are no longer accepting or tolerating destructive behavior. You are no longer tolerant. You're not going to keep on line in the sand, moving it back, line in the sand, moving it back. No, quit making concessions and take a stand. You ultimately get out of women what you tolerate. And if you want better, make sure that you're not tolerating things that go against the principles you have for yourself. All right, ladies, I'm dropping the link. If you guys want to call in and offer your perspective, I would love to hear from you. I also want to give some respect to the kosher clinician. Thank you so much, sir. Good to see you here tonight. You guys know I highly respect the kosher clinician and all that he does. Guys, again, if you guys need therapy or some level of psychological help and assistance for developing yourself into your most optimal self, I recommend the kosher clinician. He says, fire for your mind. Salute to you. Let me play the super chat song, and when I come back, we've got somebody who's called in. I'll take your call and we'll wrap up the show. All right, let's play Pick It Up.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex on. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't never scared like Bone Crush. Boy, I got God, don't fear none. My line busy, take no calls. Feels like I don't have no flaws. Snakes in the grass, cut those off. Yo, squad shitty, my bros raw.
Excellent. Okay, so I don't see anybody called in yet. So you guys let me know if you guys are calling in. And again, ladies, it's important. And my plea to you, my ask is, number one, invite people over here to the stream. My genuine goal is to prepare men who want to be men of valor and women who want to be ladies. I want to promote this, and I need them to see other qualified women who are ladies. I ain't just talking about women who wear skirts. Wear your skirts. But I mean, ladies, in terms of the way that they think and conduct themselves, women need to see other women. They need mentors. And it's the same thing for men. They need to see other strong, capable men that they can respect and at least in some ways emulate for their own lives. All right. So ladies, y'all partner with me. We're going to do this. All right, guys. All right. Well, I don't see anybody calling in. I appreciate everybody joining tonight. It has been great talking to you. I hope that you guys not only enjoyed the show, but you take some of these nuggets and you, even if you're there already, take some time and to instruct and to empower and encourage the young men and women in your life. All right. To all of my ladies, salute to my lovely ladies, and much respect to my men of valor. I'm glad that you were here tonight. Again, please support as we get prepared for the Manosphere conclave in September, and be sure to support the content that's coming out. So not only the lives, but the clips and the reels as well. And be so kind to invite people to join Sir Hale Speaks Network. We're doing big things and we're doing it together. I'm really proud of us and what we've accomplished. Again, much love to you, everybody. We'll talk with you again soon. If you're not doing anything now, let's go over to the unsolicited security boss and let's show her some love. Until next time, we'll talk with you guys soon. Peace.
Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 난 겨울. Yeah, yeah. 너와 있을 때 I swear. 제가 먼저 zero 폭설한 기출들. 꿈에도 I wasn't aware. 나만 빼고 넌 모두에게 참 친절해. 배신감이 들어 단판이 태도 머릿속을 흔드니 ibuprofen 그만해 it's time to stop. 승부욕을 자극하는 style. Yeah. 알면서도 마음이 자꾸 내게 가. 아마 빠져버릴까. If you want me back, I'll tell you I'm sorry. If you want me back, I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, girl, you're cold-blooded. Yeah, girl, you're cold-blooded. I'm like frozen 뭐야 모든 stress은 gotta let it go 했어 속였던 dating 어플 다 깔아도 보았어 반대가 끌린대 opposites attract Don't know about me and you, yeah we fell into the cracks Yeah 갖고 너네 no cap 왜 난 안 보여 what's happening 객관적일 수가 없이 이미 game white flag and wave it fast Yeah I'm leaving back but 말해도 너만 보면 나도 내 맘 I don't know 이건 love a relationship 헷갈리기만 해 girl I'll tell you I'm sorry if you want me back. I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 어지러워.